as we all know, Hulu is about to drop this documentary on the Freaknik. And for those of you in Black America, Freaknik was popping. I was in high school when it was happening, so I was too young to attend. But from those of you who went, like in my brother's generation, some of y'all still got pictures, some of y'all still got videos, and stop the show. Some of y'all mamas and aunties are on those videos in Freaknik, and it was people coming from all over Black America to Atlanta, people coming from Alabama, the HBCUs, but folks coming all the way from Cali, Seattle, everywhere was going, down to Freaknik in Atlanta. But, we all know that Freaknik was kind of like maybe the black version of what we would consider Woodstock, but with the element of, people was vibing, people had fun, and it was kind of like All-Star Weekend with a little bit of booty clapping sounds, right? And it was people living out their sexual fantasies, hooking up. It was that culture going on. But Tariq Nasheed actually broke it down, the origin of Freaknik and why it failed. I'm going to basically play what he had to say, and then I'm going to come back.
Some of these feminists can get a hold of it and be like, hey, look, see how the Black community, the culture of toxic masculinity, I'm already seeing these toxic masculinity pieces. I'm telling y'all now, when the documentary comes out, you're going to see bedwench divestment septum ring Twitter get on TV and start talking about, see, the Black man is toxic. The Black man ain't, you see how dangerous the Black men are? They're going to start parading bedwenches and mammies around to spin that narrative. So we got to be real careful with people with these talking points. And we have to understand the truth, because what happens is when there's a group of dusty who do anything off the wall, somehow that gets attributed to Black culture as a whole. And we have to get in front of that and tell the truth. The thing with Freaknik, when it started, and Freaknik really started in the 80s. It really got popping in the 90s. And the whole thing about Freaknik, it was all about just people hooking up, men and women. You like each other, I like you, you like me. You from this place, I'm from that place. Let's hook up for the weekend and kick it. And it was that vibe. It was a very cordial, consensual vibe. It was a very fun vibe early on. Anybody will tell you the vibe wasn't all thirsty and goofy at first, especially going into the mid 90s, the 94, 95, 96. It was all about you meet a car full of women see some dudes, y'all like each other, y'all hook up with each other, everybody kick it, have a good time. The thirsty goofball shit started happening around 98. That's why 99 was the last official year of Freaknik. It got real thirsty and goofy 98. All the game goofy dudes started showing up. Then everybody started bringing camcorders and was rat packing chicks, and it got goofy. And most of the people involved in Freaknik said, hey, I'm cool on this. So as a culture, we bowed out of it because of the thirsty, dusty behavior. It wasn't anything that we condone. Freaknik went downhill after the thirsty, dusty dude showed up. That's when everybody said, hey, this ain't what we signed up for. And as a culture, we let that thing fall by the wayside. We let Freaknik die a natural death. It was a fun time, but, that time has passed. That was the whole vibe. It was fun while it lasted.
But the issue here that Tariq and others are pretty much putting out there is, what is the narrative that this documentary is going to, pretty much produce? Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? What they're going to try to do is try to spin this that Black men are somehow sexual predators. All right. And I kind of feel that. I'm not sure. But, it's these Black men who are out here getting these ladies drunk. It's Black men out here who are doing us to these, these, women out there in the Black community, creating these single moms. Sad music. These women never had a chance. These Black men came and just took them to Freaknik and got them pregnant. Right. And we live in an era where folks are canceled. Right. And just think about it. Like if you were a brother at Freaknik in 1995 and now 2023, you're a pastor and you end up on that footage, people are gonna, go back and try to ruin your reputation and say that this is what you were about, even though you're just there having fun, just like spring break. But I also want to play this clip from Tariq Nasheed that I think is very important from his Twitter space chat. And I want to listen to this, and then we'll kind of come back.
It's going to be the new you okay sis nonsense. It's going to be that whole, y'all remember some years ago when the white feminists got with the mammies and the tether mammies, and they tried this whole you okay sis thing where they had this campaign against quote unquote street harassment. Y'all remember that? And we were telling people back then, this was before Me Too, by the way. This was before the Me Too movement. This was the precursor to the Me Too movement. And we were calling this out then. They had Jamila Lemieux and Feminista Jones and all of these mammies joining with these white supremacists to paint black men as predators. They were going around. And that's when, Tarana Burke was a part of that too, by the way. Again, that was the precursor to the Me Too thing. The whole narrative was that women, particularly in New York and on the East Coast, they can't walk around because so many black men are roaming the streets trying to holler at them. That was the narrative. And they were putting out all of these propaganda videos where they had women with hidden cameras walking down the street, and any dudes that talked to them, they framed it as a predatory type of thing. It was a real heavy propaganda piece they did. And we were calling that out heavy.
I think the points he makes there are very strong. And the reason why I believe that, because again, this is going to be another situation where men are blamed. And there's a reason why a lot of these women that are in Freaknik don't want the video footage to come out. Because I think the video footage is going to show that these ladies were participating willingly, okay? Just like if there's a festival in Uganda called Yeah, 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 Yeah. That's kind of like, I would say the African version of what you would consider to be the Freaknik. People are probably there participating willingly, right? People are intent, booty clapping sounds, doing whatever. Ain't nobody making nobody do nothing they don't want to do. It's just a big sexual vibe, and that was happening. But again, you got to blame the men. This is why I always tell a lot of the brothers out there, this is why you got to continue to support each other, because if you don't write the narrative and actually put out the side of your story, and I know a lot of you brothers still got footage, I think if the documentary is bad, I think black men need to come out and put out another documentary to that. I think you guys should put up the footage of what was actually going on at Freaknik. And, there's the classic 94 Freaknik. I'm hearing about 95 Freaknik, 1996 Freaknik. I'm hearing about those things. And if you guys feel like you have the footage, if it comes out bad, and then what Tariq said also, it got so dusty because you got a lot of the brothers out there coming out there making it bad. A lot of people in the black community strayed away from it. It did get a bad reputation, so folks stopped coming. I know that for a fact because I was, I think it ended maybe like late 90s, early 2000s. And I was hearing like, nah, man, we're not going down there. You know what I'm saying? It's all bad right now and things like that. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.